always learning and growing, attracting the right people, and keeping your vision in focus every day. This is the Brian Covey Show.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Brian Covey Show. So today is extra special because you know my love for fitness, you know my love for sports and all these things. And I love dudes that keep it real. I like people that just share really what's going on, what's really happening in their business. And so today's guest, you guys need to buckle up. So I'm just going to tell you, if you're following Cole at all on Instagram, you've got any connection whatsoever, you're going to know he's high energy. He speaks from his heart and his mind, and he's got a lot of great insights and wisdom, not only of how he's built his company from 200 clients, we were just talking about, to over 1,200 clients during all of this crisis we've faced there. But I love that he actually walks what he talks about. You can see that in people, and real recognizes real. And so Cole Middleton, I love the wolf. I love that part. DaSilva, join us today, guys. Buckle up as you're going to learn a lot of things about his journey, how he's achieving the success we just talked about. And in your life, look, you've got areas you know you need to level up, whether it's fitness and finance, family, all these areas. We're going to help you with that today. So Cole, welcome, my friend.
Man, I love it. Yo, I got to upgrade my intro a little bit when it comes down to my podcast. I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, that looked clean as hell. Got like the video that popped up, the music, everything. That was awesome. I didn't even know you could do that with StreamYard. That's awesome.
So we leveled, and this is one of those areas, I'll give everybody like a pro tip before we jump in, is I found someone that they're better at that than I am. And I said, You know what? Instead of trying to recreate the wheel, we hired Jim here, and he works with like Cardone and Bradley and some really cool guys. I'm like, I want my podcast to sound professional and have all that stuff. I was like, well, that's a good step. So we'll connect you up. It's worth it.
Dude, I love it. Dude, that's actually a thing that we like wholeheartedly believe in, is just hiring people that are better than us at certain things. Like when it comes down to like just creating videos and social media content, I love doing it. But there's a lot of people that we've outsourced a lot of things to, because I'm like, I don't know anything about a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not willing to put time into that. I'll stay in my lane. You to help me with that one, and we'll be good to go.
That's probably one of the best things. Like, I'm sure of you scaling from the 200 clients to 1,200. I'd love to talk about that, because some people probably hear that and they're like, hold on, you did what? And in the fitness space, and I know how highly competitive it is, and to stand out and to build something there. So tell me about the last couple of years. We'll start there, and then we'll kind of backtrack into some of your story as well. But the last couple of years, how in the world, like, how did you guys scale that? Because I think people are probably listening going, you did what?
Yeah, 100%. So it's myself and my business partner, Brian Mark. So Brian Mark, the official online fitness business trainer, is what he went for on Instagram. His Instagram actually got deactivated yesterday for whatever reason, but we'll talk about that another day. It's fine. But we scaled from around 200 to 300 clients to 1,200 in the last just over a year. And we did it because we pivoted properly during COVID. This is something that like we've spoken about a lot, where to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown, we are business coaches for personal trainers. So myself and Brian were both PTs, online fitness coaches in the past. We built our businesses to, I think it was around $15,000 to $20,000 a month consistently. Our company was making around 56 to 60K a month consistently, just fitness coaching, helping fitness clients. And we reached a point where the business wasn't something we wanted to do anymore. Brian's talked about this a couple times on his podcast, so have I. But it wasn't because we like lost love around fitness coaching. It was because the people we had on our team, like the visions just didn't align anymore. And me and Brian have always been like aligned in what we wanted to do. So he actually made the first transition out of fitness coaching and was like, I want to start PT Domination. That's what our company is now, where we help PTs do the same thing we did. So we brainstormed it, we broke it all down, and we started the business. Now, when we started the business, he was doing business coaching in the first place, and I was still fitness coaching, and I was kind of helping him out because we were still business partners.
Yeah.
After a couple months, things started to get a little bit more popping. 100 clients coming in, everything started to grow. And he's like, hey, I need you to stop fitness coaching. I need your help with this full time. I'm like, yeah, 100% sounds good. We went all into it. And we had a couple like different mastermind courses, like little things, charging like, I think it was around $5,000 for 90 days or something like that, like a basic business coaching course that you hear all over the place. But then obviously COVID hit and everybody went into full panic mode. And this is something we love talking about, because when we saw COVID hit and everybody went into full panic mode, we just did the obvious. We literally were like, okay, well, there's a bunch of business coaches out there that are charging an insane amount of money still. All right, there's still $2,500 to $3,000 a month, and they're not making an adjustment. And as much as I love them, cool. All right. I still know these guys. I've never met like personally, but I've learned stuff from them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that I can do better because I've actually done this game where there's a lot of people who teach fitness coaching and teach how to scale your fitness coaching business, but they've never actually done it. So Brian and myself sat down and we're like, okay, we need to create a course that teaches these students how to go from A to B, $5,000 to $10,000 a month, for the cheapest fucking possible outcome period. And we decided we're going to charge $400 a month USD, which literally undercut every other business coach on the market tenfold. And we're going to make it a 12-month commitment. We launched it and it just started blowing up, like literally took over the industry. We've had 192 coaches break $10,000 a month now. Nice. We've had 2 coaches break 200K in 1 month, multiple 20, multiple 30. So it just like blew up because people are coming into the program paying $400 for a month and tripling their income in 30 days. So they're just never leaving and they're just bringing more and more people in.
That's right. Well, I love that too, because we're talking about something I think a lot of business owners miss is one thing to get a client, right?
Yeah.
Another for your business, especially that annuity, like how do you continually add value?
Exactly.
I think that's where a lot of businesses miss it. Is there anything you guys have discovered through that process of, because obviously you figured out, I love some niche strategies you had, but as this moves forward, have you thought about now we're starting to move out almost this hybrid world of like, we're going to start seeing people again. We're going to start doing probably masterminds in person a lot more. Are you seeing where that growth, you're going to be able to take that and just even grow it even more?
Oh, 100%. So we first initially started with our first offer, the one that I told you guys about, which is called the 10K Coaching Academy. We built that in no joke a week. All right. We literally, that's how my business partner and I run. I did a lot of the back end stuff. He did a lot of the marketing. His Instagram was a lot of the marketing over the last year and a half. And I was more of the head coach / back end of it. But we just went full on into it. We built the 10K Coaching Academy. And as we've scaled, we've started to optimize different things. So we had another program. It was our upsell, which is level 2, which was called the 10K Mastermind. Now in the Mastermind, we had a promise of doubling your income. And that's where if you would come into our course, Brian, we would help you make your first 5 to 10K in the 10K Academy, the first one as a fitness coach. And then if you join the Mastermind, we help you double your income. Well, it got so prominent. We've actually now had 5 students hit $1 million run rate. So we rebranded it to the $1 Million Mastermind because everybody's just slaying it. Like the results have just gotten to the next level. And then we've actually now started to implement live events because it's actually a dream of myself and my business partner to do like public speaking and help people on a deeper level. So we were just like, fuck it. Why not run our own and have a blast doing it ourselves first with our own clients? We actually ran our first one. I think it was 2 months ago and it was amazing. It was like the best thing we've ever experienced.
I love it. And I love that you've got goals of where it's going to go. I think a lot of businesses, they might achieve this success and they get stuck like, man, this is great. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Earlier, you guys are over 40 now team members. You're starting to scale that out. When you start producing results like that, I found like you just got to think so massively crazy big.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'll figure out like how to find the people to come in. But you know, people get stuck in that rut a little bit. As you look at it, I'm sure you guys have probably thought about it some, but like 3 to 5 years down the road, what does it start to look like in your mind? What does this thing start to build out to be?
The fact that you said that, so I'm actually going to move my camera for a second if anybody watches the video of this, but if I go like this for you, it's right there. So we've actually had this for the last year and a half already, and that's our 3-year vision. So it's something that we sat down, we planned out, and it's like the large scale of it, just to kind of give you a breakdown, in the next 3 years, we want 5,000 students enrolled in the program, level 1, just no matter what. We want to have 500 members over 10K. We already at 193 have broken $10,000 a month. We want 500. And it's happening very consistently now. Like it's usually 4 to 5 students are breaking 10K a month in our program in level 1, no matter what, just based off the support that we have. We want to make sure that our social media is over 5 million followers combined, which is growing really well. Obviously my friend's account just got deactivated for whatever the fuck reason. But whatever. TikTok for myself is over 350. Instagram's at 115 right now. So we're just trying to get as much eyes as we can to show people that you can do this stuff online because we came from the in-person space. So yeah, it's all right there, my man. Like we have our values, we have our breakdown, no bullshit policy, support everybody, love everybody, high energy, like show up with enthusiasm. Everything's on the wall. And we just look at it every single day because we just want to make sure that we're aligned consistently to make sure that we're leading by example.
Yeah. That's right. I love that you've got that, because I'm always thinking that too. And it's no surprise that you guys are successful and you've got that mapped out, right? Like, I think that's for anybody listening is, if you're running your business, it's one thing to have a business, and people tout this on Instagram and wherever else. Like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a CEO, I have my business. No. You need to run a profitable, successful business and have visions and goals, like where you're going with this thing. And don't mistake that. Yeah.
You need to. If you don't have a vision, you're literally just running in circles. Right. And it's something that I didn't realize for a very long time until we started to like really sit down and nail it down and like pay attention to the vision every single day. And as soon as we started to do that, everything just started to scale really well.
Love it. Let's go back a little bit. So obviously moving in the PT space, you got the fitness space, you're figuring out all these business things and all that. But did you play sports, an athlete growing up?
I did. So I played football all through high school. I actually came back for a leap year. I don't know if they have the same thing where you are, but in Ontario, Canada, you have high school from grade 9 to grade 12. I know, super weird. Usually there's some middle school in Alberta or something like that. I've never heard of it before. But grade 9 to grade 12, I played all through, all right, every single year. And then I actually came back. I did a leap year. So I just came back to high school to play one more year in football. Nice. And did decent. Wasn't like the most amazing player, but definitely wasn't the worst. I got looked at by a couple teams. But obviously, me being a shithead that young, I'm more focused on drinking and drugs, etc., than where I could have probably taken that stuff.
Yeah, we've all fallen down those paths where I'm like, and you look back, and for anybody out there, if you didn't have some setbacks and things there, like you weren't living life, like you weren't doing things. That's not to say you got to go do those either, but at the same point, it's like, I love that you're honest about that stuff, because look back, sports for me was like a ton of lessons learned and all.
Yeah.
And afterwards, like, look, you didn't have to be the captain or the star player or all that. Like, to me, if you showed up every day, you were committed, you understood what discipline meant and how you actually could achieve things together. And it seems like then you move into this fitness space and all that. Were there any lessons you learned? I'm always curious, because we have some, athletes that are trying to go to college, or they're in college, professional now, trying to move out in the business world. They're trying to transition their life. Anything you took out of that sports that you can apply into business now?
100%. I think it was probably just the work ethic that you have to take in every single day. Yeah. Because like I was never the biggest guy on the football field. Like, there was a very big gap between my football career and my fitness career. And like, well, football career, I'm saying that like I was a fucking star player. Calm down. But like, me playing football and me going into business, there was a massive gap. But if I was to look back and like see if there's any lessons I could take from it, it would just be like the relentless work ethic that you need to put in, because it doesn't fucking matter what your excuse is. Like, you can't be on the sports field and complain about how you're not getting something a certain way or things aren't running in your favor. You either shut the fuck up and work, or you don't make it anywhere. And it's just a mentality I've taken through everything in my life. And it's just something that I've always embraced since growing up, since going through drug addiction, since dealing with alcohol. Like, I just put everything on me always. And I think I could attribute a lot of that to sports, because again, I was not the biggest guy. I'm only 5'6". All right. When I played football, I was, again, like 5'6", 5'5", 160 pounds. Like, and I played running back, fullback, D end. And it's just because I hit like a fucking truck and I ran my ass off. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I complained about how small I was. So,
yeah, I think if everybody listen to that, that's the thing is, you look at that and you go, hey, whatever limiting belief you might have, or it might be real. Like, when you think about like the actual physical side of, there's no super drug out there that's going to help you grow or and actually put on healthy weight like that. So like, you can't be a 250-pound lineman.
Exactly.
That's how you're built. But whatever you've been gifted with, I love that you've taken what you were actually good at and now you've started to move it forward. And one of the things I saw on Instagram, and you're living this, I can see it, is like about cutting out excuses. In some of your videos, I will tell you, like, I don't get into a lot of the motivational videos, and some of those they're cool, like they're good and all. But yours always has like real actionable steps. So I'm curious, like, when you started doing this social media thing, some people are afraid, maybe some that are listening probably have some presence, but they're not putting themselves out there. You've put all of you out there, and quite honestly, it's really good content, like in the sense of like, I love the editing. It's short, it's sweet. It's like in your face. What triggered you to go and go down that path?
That's a really good question. I honestly think it came down to me trying to act like I wasn't for so long. Like me trying to act like not me for so long that I just reached a point in my life where I was like, I do not fucking care anymore. I'm going to put everything about myself out on the line. If you don't like it, then there's the fucking door. And it started when I was a fitness coach. So when we started as a fitness coaching company in Calgary, Alberta, our company's name was Aesthetic Nation. AEN is what we called it. And myself and my business partner got the most hate. It was insane. And it was because like, there was a couple other people, like I don't want to coin like we started online fitness coaching in Calgary, because I know there was some other people there, and I don't want to do it as like let's knock them or disrespect them or anything like that. But we were the biggest, period. Like there's no fucking if, ands, or buts about that. It's just how it was. And because we were the biggest and we didn't have as much experience as these other trainers, then like the argument comes into play, right? Like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You shouldn't be doing this. Like you're just doing it for the money. And because we were so fucking loud, whether you liked us or not, you saw us everywhere. And it just created so much fucking hate. And at the very beginning of it, my business partner was, for lack of a better term, a little bit afraid by it, not of the hate, but because of my voice, because he knew how like aggressive and loud and like intense I was. So I was muted for a little while. Like, please don't go too fucking crazy. And then it just reached a point where both of us were like, fuck it. Just send it, like, let's go. And then as soon as that happened, I just started going off, and I just reached a point where I'm like, you're going to hate me or love me anyway. So I might as well say what I want to say, and you're going to need to hear it. That's the thing. Like, I'm never attacking anybody personally. I'm never like ripping anybody down personally. I'm just attacking excuses and justifications, because it actually, like, in my core, it really fucking bothers me when I see somebody wasting their potential based off of them telling themselves a bullshit story that they want to believe for whatever reason. So I just started going into it and just started popping off.
Dude, I'm sure that's when people connect with you the most, right? Like when people are real, like, you know, it's always like, if you're going to show up online, you're going to start doing this. The best advice I was ever given was like, hey, if we run into you, whether it's at a soccer game or out in the community, at work, in a boardroom, whatever, like wherever you are, you gotta be the same person. Like,
dude, have to. Such a fucking important lesson.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing that like it started to really mess with my core beliefs and mess with who I was, because when I was like, when I say muted, it's not like I wasn't allowed to speak my mind. It was just like, pay attention to how you're talking. It's like what people used to say, right? Oh, yeah. And I'll get it all the time. Like, Cole, why do you swear so much? Why do you go off? Why do you do it? I'm like, honestly, just because that's how it comes out of my mouth. Like, that's literally, it's not like I'm forcing myself to say fuck 3 times in one sentence. It's just when I'm passionate and it comes out, that's just how I say it. And when I was trying to not do that, it didn't feel authentic, and it would mess with how I was speaking. I do a live stream. Like, there's no way I'd be able to speak to you right now. Like, there was times where I'm walking down the street with my phone and I'm trying to do a live stream, and I would stop the live stream and restart it 6 times in a row, because I'm like, I cannot speak like this. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I wanted to be the same person everywhere, right? Whether you see me at a grocery store or online or on social media or at a family dinner, I want to be the same fucking person no matter what, because that's what just feels right in my heart.
Yeah. Well, who knows, they're on that journey, and the reality is, guys, it is a journey. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I just arrived, I did this, I did that. And when when it starts to click, like what Cole's talking about there, I think is so cool, because the way you shared that, I can totally relate, because I was in corporate America 13 years and all that. And it was like, don't say this.
Yeah.
Don't say that. And it's like, what can we say? Like, basically nothing. Like, man, people don't connect that way anymore. And I love how you've started to build your brand around this, though, because what I can see is it has so much synergy to what you guys are doing. I'm curious, what advice would you give people? Maybe they're not in the fitness space, but they're online, they're in a different industry. It's not as exciting, right? Like, we're in mortgage and real estate, and some people do, insurance and all that. It's honest. No one wants a mortgage. I tell everyone, no one cash. You would pay cash for the house.
Yeah.
You probably don't have cash, so you need us to give you the cash to buy that home, which is really what you want.
Yeah.
How do you make mortgages cool or sexy or whatever? Again, like, what advice would you give people in those spaces to start getting out there and really connecting?
I think it's about being like 100% unapologetically yourself at all times. Like, because I think every industry, like, you have a certain standard how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to present yourself, how you're supposed to deliver your message. But then there's always that one fucking outlier, that one dude who does whatever the fuck he wants and he's super successful. And it's because they're just themselves. They don't care about what the fuck they say. And it's something that I heard way back in the past. I wish I could remember who had said this, but it stuck with me for like the last 5 years. And I think I was watching a movie and I heard this statement of like, well, what the fuck does being professional mean? And I heard that and it was like, it stuck with me forever because I feel like that's a big thing, right? Like back in the day, all right, like my parents used to say it to me, all right, and their parents used to say it to them, like, you got to act professional. Like I get it all the time with my tattoos as well, right? Like you got to act a certain way. If you dress a certain way, you're not going to be perceived as professional. And then instantly my attitude, and again, like guys, I'm going to be raw here, like motherfucker, what is professional? Like if you want to look at it, all the people that are considered unprofessional, like didn't go to school, swear like crazy, do whatever the fuck they want, they're usually the ones that are killing it. The ones with the best businesses, the ones that have the best messages, the ones that are going viral on social media, that are impacting millions. And it's because they are themselves. So if you're in an industry that might seem like a little bit more closed off, like obviously the mortgage or real estate or whatever, you might not be able to be as outlandish as everything else, but find your own way to do it. Right? Like there's a couple of breakdowns I want to give you guys examples on, and I wish I had their social medias pulled up. But again, I just wanted to show up raw and real today. I didn't script anything. But there's one lawyer. Okay, there's one lawyer that does TikToks, and what he does is he scrolls through TikTok and he sees dumb shit happening, like people fighting or arguing or whatever, and then he stitches it, and he's like, "Oh, who is in the wrong here?" And he's like, "This is what the fuck they did wrong," and he talks about it, but he's providing value in a way that's himself, and he's super viral across the platform now. You probably wouldn't expect that because, again, everybody sees a lawyer closed off, has to act a certain way, only says certain things. But he's just found his own voice in his own space, and it works really fucking well.
Dude, I love that. We actually were training our team this week, and we're starting to go more into TikTok. So I'm going to start spending time there.
Yeah.
Some content. So we're mapping out some of that. Like, what do we share over there? Like, what is going to connect with the audiences? Because recognizing, like, look, most people don't want to talk about like getting more debt and borrowing more money and all that. Yeah. So like, okay, we're going to break it down. I love that example because that's one people can relate to and go, look, like you don't have to get on there and be boring, like, and talk about what you do over here that no one really wants a lawyer until they have to have a lawyer.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh, I remember that lawyer guy. Like, I'm going to call him. And
yeah. It's just about getting in front of people's faces in a different way.
Isn't it crazy today to think about this? And your business growth, when you were talking about that, I think should show anybody out there building their business today. I know you talked about you guys are focused on your followers and all that, but then I think there was a post you did recently. It was talking about the engagement and how you're following up on leads and I'd love to unpack some of that because I think some people, they don't correlate those, like the engagement into how do I make that into a customer? Like, how do I convert people so that
I think so the biggest thing that I've started to break down recently for not only my audience, but for a lot of my clients, right? Because a lot of the written posts that I make, because, I'm trying to answer a bunch of things right now. A lot of the written posts that I actually create are for my actual clients, not for my audience, because my audience is more of motivation, inspiration, blah, 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 whatever.
Sure.
But the reason why I did it that way is because that's just that's my authentic message. That's the things that I actually want to talk about. And it's been from the very beginning when I was a fitness coach, the full transition of my Instagram. Every single time I've ever talked about excuses or justifications, it's always done better. And it's because that's just my internal voice. That's where my dial is. But I want to make sure that I'm writing actual posts for my clients to provide people with value. And this is where I feel like a lot of people on social media miss the mark, where they write based off of what they want to hear and they don't write based off of what their audience wants to hear. Mm-hmm. And that's where the fucking problem lies, because let's say you're a fitness coach, okay, and you're listening to this and you want to help people lose weight, and that's what you specialize in. That's what your fucking bio says. But then I go to your page and the last 12 to 15 posts are just random shit to get views and engagement. Well, you guys need to realize that your fucking posts need to provide actionable value to your audience. Now, people will try to argue that, well, Cole, you're a fucking business coach for PTs and all you post is inspirational, motivational content. Yes, but I'm talking about how to cut out excuses and justifications for why not to start on your business and why you need to start on your goals. And that's why it can be taken that way. And it works well for my audience, and it brings me in clients and it brings me in eyes, where you'll have somebody who wants to be a fitness coach who teaches people how to lose weight, and all it is dumbass fucking videos of you at the gym doing nothing. And I'm just going to keep it raw and real. Like, I go to your page and there's nothing actionable. Like, there's no fucking value. People can't actually lose weight. And I feel like that's where the big misconception is, where people don't actually give people what they want on social media. They just talk about what they think people want to hear, if that makes sense.
I think that's money. I mean, that's pure gold for a lot of people listening out there. You nailed it when you think about it. They're posting what they want to hear because they're living in their feelings and their world. But I mean, if you're trying to actually build a business and you're trying to attract customers, and the reality is, you're right. Like, you have to know what they're looking for. And I love how you went the next step there. For many people, it's like, okay, what are the actionable items you could give them? If they go to your page today, could they take an action right now looking at your page and make their life better? It's yes or no. Like, I mean,
exactly.
But I do love how you shared your example, because a lot of people, look, I mean, it can be as simple as you're helping them cut out an excuse today. You're going to help them go get one more workout in today. You're going to show them how to manage their time and prioritize things in to get done what they really want to get done. Like, to me, there's correlation there. And I think for many of us, look, like, you can't separate these things anymore. It used to be like, hey, I'm going to go to the office today. Then I'm going to come home later. I'm going to go to the gym. Like, those worlds all are like intertwined. It doesn't matter. Like, it's there. So
it's across the board now.
It's cool. I think that's where things have shifted so much. And I love, like, the way you've integrated this. I love your best practices on, like, how you've integrated that into your life. Cause you obviously are disciplined. I can see that. Like, the people that fake it. And it's like, I post to post and whatever. No, like I recognize, like, you're putting in the work. Mm-hmm. How do you prioritize and, like, schedule out things that matter while running a business, wanting to stay in shape, family, doing life?
So this is actually a funny question, and I might throw you off and a bunch of other people listening to this as well. There's a lot of things that I do that are, like, mad disorganized and flying by the seat of my fucking pants. But the thing is that I start every morning the fucking same. And I feel like that's something that's, like, really cemented me, like, up for success, gets me in the mood that I need to. Yeah. The number one thing that I utilize, and it's not at my desk right now, and it's something that I just implemented, is actually Andy Frisella's Power List. And the reason why I've started to use that recently is just because it was easier for me to write in that book than fucking try to scrape up another random notebook. Yep. But even before his Power List, I do the same thing. So I'd wake up at the same time. Recently, I recognized, based off of self-awareness, that I need to start training in the morning, because if I don't train in the morning, I get way too busy at night. Because again, I told Brian before this, guys, but I have 1,200 clients. All right. We actually own a gym in Kelowna with 1,200 members. I have 40 employees at PT Nomination underneath myself and my business partner. Like, there's so much going on. There's so many fires. There's so many things that we need to deal with. And I was trying to train, like, hit the gym after, like, later in the afternoon. I'm like, that's when I like to train. But recently I'm like, I need to make a fucking adjustment. So now I wake up at 4:30 a.m. every morning. I go hit the gym. So I spend like 45 minutes to an hour and a half in the gym. Then I do cardio. While I'm doing my cardio, I then do my social media tasks, where I post across multiple different platforms and I plan out what I want to post. Instagram stories, Instagram reels, Facebook reels, TikTok, usually, YouTube shorts, Pinterest. And then I'm looking at Twitter, but that shit looks like Chinese to me. I don't even understand it. I'm like, I don't get how I could say, like, have a good day and it gets fucking thousands. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm trying to learn it. We're trying to figure it out. But then I do all my social media. Then I get home. As soon as I get home, I then roll into my, like, basic catch-up tasks after I get ready for the day. So hashtag look good, feel good. I wholeheartedly believe in that. Like, have a shower, dress in things that make you feel good about yourself, so you can, like, provide the best part of you every single day. So shower, get ready for the day. Then I go into my regular tasks. Now, on a Monday, I usually have 5 back-to-back hour-long calls from 8:30 a.m. until around 2 p.m. consistently, like, never leaving this fucking chair. And then I'm usually done my tasks and I can go into, like, more creative projects. And that's why, like, it keeps me structured no matter what throughout the day, because I have a breakdown of, like, what I usually utilize, and it's called the 10 before 10 a.m. morning routine. It's something I coined and I taught all my clients. And it's my goal to get 10 core tasks, 10 things that are going to drive the needle forward with my wealth, health, and relationship goals before 10 a.m. in the morning.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to get into that, because that's something I think people struggle the mornings. I can feel what you're saying there. Like, I tried doing, like, the mid-morning, the afternoon, like, trying to fit stuff in. I'm like, man, if I don't go in the morning, like,
you're just not gonna get it. You're too fucking busy.
Yeah. And then even I went the other day, And I'm sure there's some physiology to this, but I went into class like 4:30 last Friday because the day started. I was helping my daughter get to school. So her ride, couldn't take her and all that. I'm like 4:30, even though I did the workout, it was horrible. My energy level, I had spent so much at work and like just driving all day. Mentally, I got in there. I was like, I went through the motions. I mean, I put forth effort, but it sucked. I'm like, I'm not doing 4:30 p.m. Just not my jam. So I love that you're honest about this because I think a lot of people struggle. They're like, well, I'm not super disciplined. I don't have these time blocks and these perfect calendars and all this stuff.
No, neither do I.
Right. I said, guys, the reality is some of the people out there you're going to see that are actually successful. They'll just post about their success. They're really successful. They are disciplined in certain areas. They've realized if they can be disciplined there, that's how they're going to win. And there's other areas. Look, like, I tell people, I have the same desires and feelings you do some days. That's like, hey man, I could just hang out too, but I've committed. And
that's legit. Like, when it comes down to like the same thing every single day, guys, I'm literally just pulled up my like morning routine breakdown again, just so I could look at it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have number one, fuck my calendar. Literally never use that thing ever. I get shit by like our teams because we have teams that help myself and my business partner like stay organized. But I just do better running off of like every single day. As soon as I get my tasks done, I usually just have reminders in my phone. Like, I'm super basic with that. I've got a note in my notes that have everything that I'm supposed to get done every single day. And then I have alarms that go off, not reminders either, just alarms. And like, usually people think that you have to have time blocks and like color scheduled calendars and stuff like that. If I had that, I would never look at it anyways, because it just like creates confusion in my brain or starts to create like certain pressure where I know if I just sit down and start working, I'm going to get everything done because I just hold myself to a higher fucking standard.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, if I don't get it done at the end of the week, I can't blame anybody else but myself. And I feel like that's just a mentality that I've had for a long time. So I just make sure that I put the work in and I do what works for me. Like, my business partner, my best friend, Brian, that I've been telling you that I've grown this business with, I wake up at 4:30. He wakes up at like 3 a.m., 3:30 every single fucking day. Wow. And it just works for him. He's super dedicated, but he goes to bed at like 8 p.m. every single night, where I'm like, I fucking can't. So, and I could, I don't like using the word can't, but I just don't like going to bed that early. So I usually end up going to bed at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. I wake up at 4:30 a.m. I do my stuff, get myself centered for the day, and then I just start working. But I don't think you need to have like some incredible, insane fucking structure that's time blocked all day, every day, especially if that doesn't actually work for you on a personal basis.
It's crazy to me how many times people are like, yeah, I adopted this plan. Somebody else is using it. I'm going to use it. It doesn't work for me. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm like, insanity? You ever read that definition? Like,
exactly.
Guys, like, find what works for you. And I love that you share that, because that's where a lot of people fall in the trap of like, I'm going to do it like they did it because I heard it on a podcast or I saw it online. It's like, man, make it your own. And I've learned that over the years of like, and be willing to, what I heard through yours is like, you're willing to adapt through the day. Like, I can recognize like, okay, I was going to go do this, but this is actually what I need to go do, and the permission and freedom. So dude, I got an interesting question for you on this one. Since you're in the fitness space, I'm always curious about this, right? Because like, we both grew up, we played sports, and like I've had times and seasons in my life where I was like the kind of overweight fat kid early in teenage years, still was a good athlete, which is crazy. But then later when we had our first two kids, put on the sympathy weight, whatever you want to call it and all that.
Yeah.
But I wonder for people out there listening is like, what do you see? Why do people not commit to this thing that we know? Like, I mean, we have enough information and knowledge at this point to go, I need to take care of my health.
Yeah.
Right? But they can't just, they can't stay committed. What advice would you give them on taking control back of their fitness journey?
Being 100% raw and real. Like, yeah, stop being fucking lazy. Like, that's literally it. And like, when it comes down to it, guys, like, we all have the power to achieve anything that we fucking want. And the information that we have right now is literally ridiculously endless. Like, when I look at this, even as a business coach, like, business coaches and maybe life coaches will have a little bit more of an edge because they'll be teaching you something that you actually don't understand, like on the deep level of making money, expanding a business. Yeah. But as a fitness coach, and I even said this when I was a fitness coach, like, you are not needed. You are basically a fucking accountability coach. And it's like goes across the board because everything is on Google. All right. And don't get me wrong, like I've been in the same place. We call him Fat Cole. All right. I literally have the photo of myself. And it was after my third fitness competition. I lost motivation and I was like, my body dysmorphia was so fucking bad from not being shredded anymore that I just binge ate and I got so overweight. I was like 199.2 pounds at 5'6". Like I hated my fucking body, hated my life, hated what I looked like in the mirror. It triggered the downfall of me wanting to be a fitness coach because I didn't feel morally right fucking doing things as a fitness coach, but not walking the walk anymore. Right. But at the end of the fucking day, it was just about me not being lazy anymore. Yeah. And I feel like way too many people want to interject their own personal bullshit fucking excuse and justification for why they can't do something. And it's trash. Guys, there's people out there. I don't know if you've ever seen him, Brian, but there's a viral creator on TikTok and Instagram. He's super famous, by the way. He's talked to Gary Vee, all of them. Homie has one arm and his arm doesn't even have a full hand. He's got like three fingers like this. You've seen him. And that guy's a fucking fitness phenom. He works out every fucking day. He's super famous and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's a MMA fighter with one arm gone. There's a wrestler with no fucking legs and he's still going. But you motherfuckers want to complain that you can't lose weight when all you want to do is eat chips. Like people want to complain that they can't get in shape, but they're just using like their own personal bullshit as an excuse. And I get it. Like we all have things that happen in our lives that like really throw us off. Like super sad things. Again, like somebody gets COVID and it throws them off, or a family member passes away and it's heartbreaking. And I get that stuff. But if you allow the excuses and justifications to hold you back, you will never get anywhere because nobody cares.
Yeah.
And that's the sad truth. Like, no, we all got our own shit going on. I can tell you right now, Brian doesn't give a fuck about my problems and vice versa. He's a cool dude. All right. Well, I love having this convo. I'll always do podcasts. But at the end of the day, if I started bitching to Brian, he'd be like, Cole, bro, like what the fuck are you complaining about? And vice versa, because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to hold you fucking back.
Dude, I love that. So rewind that back and listen to that. For anybody out there and you're like, hey, like what's the deal? Like there is no magic silver bullet, magic pill coming your way to save you. And I love the fact that you shared this. This is a principle of mine I've lived by, is surround yourself with people who are going to be real with you and honest.
100%, always.
That was part of why I want to have you on, and you have over-delivered, my friend. And I love that because sometimes in our life, we just got to find people that are going to actually say what we need to hear. And we know it. Deep down, we know it.
Yeah.
But people around us are making us feel good. Like, oh, it's okay. You know, one of my favorites, you can start that next week or start it tomorrow. And I love this time of the year because I was like, I'm starting January 1, baby. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all this stuff.
My old friends don't even say that shit to me anymore.
Like, like don't bring that up.
They know not to say anything to me like that anymore. They know not to say they're going to start tomorrow. Guys, like, and I want everybody to really listen to this right now. If you are that person, okay, to yourself or your other friends, you are doing yourself and your other friends a fucking disservice on every single level. Like I've limited myself to a certain amount of individuals that I surround myself with because they all know I am a very brutal human being. If you say something dumb around me, you're going to hear my true thoughts, period. Like I don't even hide it. Like you see it in my facial expression. Like right away, I'm like, that was fucking stupid. And it's not because I'm being rude to them. It's just because I just hold them to a high fucking standard because I want to be held to a high standard. Like that whole, okay, I want to start my goals January 1st. That doesn't happen. All right. Like I've got a thing with my clients as well. It's called #ShowMe. And it just came out of nowhere one day. It was a joke. One of my clients made a comment in our $1 Million Mastermind group and they said like, oh, this month is going to be fucking next level. I'm going to break my record. I'm going to like take over the industry. And all I commented on his post was #ShowMe. So he screenshot it, put it as his phone background. And that was his motivation because I'm like, stop fucking talking about it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we both listened to Andy Frisell on some stuff and he was talking about that. I was like, a lot of people talking about stuff. It's like, show me the results. We've never been in a time, I believe, where you can grow your business. You can grow your own personal self.
Yep.
You can do all these things. Like there are no limiting factors around you except what you decide that you choose. So I know, Cole, people are going to want to follow you and find out more. Dude, we could jam for a while. I've loved 100%. This. Where can people follow along and make sure they connect up with you?
100%. So you guys can check me out on Instagram or TikTok at Cole, LUIS DaSilva, DaSilva. Or if you like podcasts, I also got the Wake Up with the Wolf podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts as well.
Dude, I love it. We'll include the links in there. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, like I choose to surround myself in my feed. I have taken very intentional actions around who I let in there and who I let stay. Cole's one of those guys, and no bullshit there. Like, I like to see his stuff come in, and I make sure I go through, because certain people, you can just connect with that energy, and they might be that trigger for you that helps you go take an action towards who you know you need to be, who you said you were going to be, and actually go win at life, and quit being on the sideline and waiting for stuff to happen. Get in the game, go make stuff happen. So, Cole, my friend, thank you so much for investing time and just being you, dude. Thank you for, I like how you've opened some people's perspective probably about where they are, how they can be more authentic, and they can just go take action today.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
That's the whole goal. The whole goal. If I can go from a person who used to struggle with a Percocet addiction to a business owner running a 7-figure business with over 1,200 clients, like, you can do anything you want. You just got to shut the fuck up and get to work. That's literally it.
That's it.
I love it, man.
Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you go on, like, subscribe, leave us a comment, all that fun stuff on the show, and we will make sure to continually add value and deliver back to you guys. So let me know if there's anybody you want us to have on. And today, as you're listening to this, go take action towards something you said you were going to do, and keep that commitment to yourself and go win. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Subscribe, rate, and review The Brian Covey Show today. Go to briancovey.com.